Hey guys, check it out. Behind me is the brand new Volvo V60. So here in Canada, I'm gonna get to take it off-road, well, dirt road, and see if the cross country is worthy of its name. And that is coming up right now.
This car has a little bit more of the body cladding compared to the regular V60. The car is also riding higher. It is the ride height difference compared to the previous generation car is about 0.4 inches higher. Compared to the regular V60, it rides about 2.5 inches higher. So that actually allows you kind of to drive up the mountain here. So we're right up now, pretty high up, and we've done some interesting driving to get up here. You wouldn't really want to do that with a regular V60, but the cross country is built to handle this. Every cross country as well also comes with all-wheel drive standard, so you can't even get the two-wheel drive car. It's always all-wheel drive. So they again handle these kind of conditions that a regular car might not be able to handle.
So what's the ground clearance?
Ground clearance is 8.3 inches.
Okay.
The regular car is then 2.5 inches lower.
Volvo flew me out here to test drive this, and with me in the car is Chris Stewart. And if you guys are fans of Swede Speed, the forum, right?
That's right.
Then you probably, do you have like is it Chris Stewart on the forum?
It's Chris at Sweet Speed.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no like
there's nothing fancy.
Like the dancing moose?
No, I don't have
prancing moose?
No prancing moose.
Anyway, he's the administrator, and he knows more about Volvos than I have ever known. So we're in the brand new V60, but it's special, right?
This is the T5 cross country.
Yep. So let's start with the basics. What's under the hood?
We have the T5 4-cylinder.
Yep.
For those that have been around Volvo for a while, because it used to be the 5-cylinder. It's now the 4-cylinder. And it is about 250 horsepower.
Yeah. And we're about to drive this bad boy down the mountain.
With hill descent.
With hill descent control, yeah. We've got that engaged. So, I don't look at this thing as a serious off-roader. It's got 8 inches of ground clearance, so this is kind of the perfect trail for it. So, we've had the cross countries here before. This is not the first time.
No, that's correct.
But this is the first time for the V60.
It is, we had the V60 cross country in the previous generation.
Right, but not this one.
But not in this generation. In the Spa platform, it's the first one for the V60.
Yeah, and it doesn't raise the game and the ground clearance a whole heck of a lot.
No.
It's more of an appearance package, but it does make it look a little bit more rugged.
Yeah, for the folks coming to resorts like this, it's the perfect vehicle.
Yeah, or it's kind of a ski vehicle.
Yeah.
And so, what's your take on this car? I mean, have you driven it before?
Just at the dealership, but this is our first drive actually out on some real roads, some terrain. And it's a great size for those that like the XC70. We're really, Volvo got smaller with the previous generation V60. The XC70 is really a good size for most folks. This is getting closer to that. So it's nice to have a little bit more room. And we've got a little more ground clearance.
Yeah, and it's not quite as big as the big boy,
the V90.
V90 cross country,
right.
Which is, I think that's probably one of the sexiest.
That's a great car.
Sleekest cars out there, and this is kind of the baby version of it.
It is, yeah. For smaller growing families, it's a great size, great vehicle.
And of course, he's saying that as administrator of the Swedes Speed form, so you got to be a little friendly. And the hill descent control is actually working really well. It's holding me at about 8 kilometers an hour. I think it's about
not touching the brakes.
Not touching the brakes. It's about 5 miles an hour. And you're right. It's kind of that right size, right? There's too big, too small, and just right. And
V40 a little too small.
Yeah.
V90 a little too big. 60 series is a perfect fit.
And I'm going to use a word, the forbidden word, because nobody wants them. But this is a station wagon.
It's a station wagon.
Yeah, it's a station wagon. Everybody wants the XCs, right?
That's right.
Big old crossover SUVs, but if it were my money, Chris, I would get this car in a heartbeat. All right, so what is it like to drive the new cross-country V60? Well, it's like driving the V60 without cross-country. It's pretty much the same thing. You've got a little bit of a lift. You've got basically a perky 4-cylinder, which, it's pretty common now. But what you have that you don't have with other cars, of course, is this kind of long and sleek and beautiful design. And that to me is why I love Wagon so much. As you guys might know, at one point I owned a Volvo 850R and a V70R, actually an 850 Turbo and a V70R. And I love those cars. They weren't particularly sprightly or quick around a corner, but they were sure and confident and just felt filled you with a sense of incredible security when you drove them, like you were cocooned in a bubble of airbags. And I'm probably making that up more in my head than in reality, but that's how I felt driving the vehicles. And I get that same sense here. Everything is screwed together well, everything is very solid, and everything I look at is very pleasing to the eye. There's no abrupt edges or unfinished, inexpensive plastics. It's just all wood and leather and tasteful Swedish design. However, it's not all perfect in here. I gotta tell you, there are some small but significant issues I have with this car. I kind of find that this infotainment system is getting dated. When it first came out, I was really wowed by it, but now I'm over it in a way. Especially coming out of a Tesla, you just feel that this is starting to feel like it's yesterday's tech. The start button was really cool when it first came out, the little kind of switch, and now it's starting to feel dated as well. And this kind of bezeled chrome, very bling drive selector is just a little too much. Otherwise, it's hard to criticize anything in here because everything is so kind of straightforward and just logically laid out and practical. There's no moonshot here, but then again, there's nothing that offends. Let's talk about this interior. Traditional shift lever, which is interesting.
It is, compared to their T8 models, which is just a little tiny lever.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, my pet peeve is this right here. This company, and I believe it's either Kia or Hyundai, does the same thing. I really hate having those buttons on the side like that. You know, it's just silly. It's like, you know, having a pack of cigarettes in your pocket. Maybe it's cool, but you know, it's just much easier to have them here. But that's just me. We've got, I think, 4 different, let's see how many drive modes we have. We can't mess with them because we're in off-road. We have 4, so we have Eco, Comfort, Dynamic, and Off-Road. And Off-Road basically gives you downhill descent control. We also have all-wheel drive. Do you know how the system works?
It is. It's traditional, you know,
front bias.
Front bias.
Yeah.
It'll shift some power to the back, about a 50-50. I think is the max it'll do.
Every time you're standing still and getting ready to really go, you get a basically 50-50 split. It pre-charges them for the rear wheel, so you really have good traction when you need to get going. And that's pretty much, you know, you're not going to get more than 50% typically to the rear wheel. The wheels and tires are unique to the cross country. This car itself has the accessory tires, now 20-inch wheels and tires. Okay. The standard car from the factory comes with either 18s or 19s. The standard tire is 18, and they can option up to a 19-inch wheel and tire.
So is the Volvo V60 cross country a serious off-roader with just over 8 inches of ground clearance? Probably not, but does it look cool driving down a mountain? Oh, heck yeah, it certainly does. So do you know the fuel economy on this car?
It's going to be mid-20s.
Yeah.
You might get to 30 miles a gallon on the highway, which is pretty much on course for most of those, unless you get the hybrid.
And what's kind of the word on the forum, street, as to this car? What do people say about it? What do people think about it?
They really like it. They like the agility of it.
Yeah.
They like the increased cargo capacity compared to the previous generation. And it's the Spot platform, which, you know, folks have really embraced. And it's just a good all-around car.
Do you know where it's built?
This one, I believe, is built in Torslanda.
Oh, okay.
In Sweden.
All right, so it's if you want a Swedish Volvo,
this is still it.
Yeah, some are built here in America, some are built in China.
The S90 is in China.
Yeah,
S60 is here in the U.S.
Like a year ago, the CEO of Volvo said that starting, I think, in 2020, right, all Volvos are going to be limited to 112 miles an hour.
That's painful to hear.
Oh, that is painful to hear. I mean, I get that they want to be safe, because on this program, they've gone to great lengths to show us things like the fact that they invented the 3-point seat belts.
Right. You know, celebrating 60 years.
Yes, whips, the whiplash mitigation system, a lot of cool stuff. But 112, I'm not on board with that. No. Especially if you're getting the pull start. How much more does it cost if you step up to the cross country?
It's about $5,000 more. Right. Then you get overdrive standard. It's always a T5 engine that we have, and you get a little bit of a different execution inside of the car, different inlays and those kind of things. It starts at $45, and then if you add on a couple of packages, it's gonna maybe run you about $50,000. It is actually very well equipped already at $45. So if you don't need the heated steering wheel, for instance, you know, then you're good out the door with $45. This car itself has the Cross Country Pro package. Then you get a little bit of the cross country, you know, cladding cladding on the side. That's not standard, but all the dark body cladding that you see, that comes on every cross country. You also get the dark tint around the window surrounds, and of course you get the tinted windows in the back. You can't do that on a regular car, but this is classified then as a light truck, so you can do the tinting, and we always do that. In the back you always have the integrated exhaust pipes that you see on this car. And you see this is then again a T5 all-wheel drive that is standard on every cross country that we have.
So if you're looking for a soft roader that looks sexy and can drive up a mountain, well, at least on the dirt road that is paved, not the side of the mountain, and cost around $45,000, this may be the ride for you. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out TFLcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real world reviews. Oh yeah, Volvo flew me out here, put me up in Banff, and I want to let you know that the car is now available at your local dealership. So there you go. There's my little promo. See you guys next time. Ciao.